Guys, I'm back today. I was away for 24 days and I miss my shrimp so much. You cannot imagine how much I miss my shrimps here. So I was thinking about my tanks every day, believe me or not. And finally, I arrived, I came back. Everything is fine. There was some couple problems which I'm going to talk about, so maybe in the future you can avoid them. I'm going to show you quickly my tanks and talk about some what's changed while I've been away and what's happened while I've been away. Yeah. So let's start with the top tank. This tank has a problem with this filter, the sponge filter. So the good news about this tank is I have tons of babies here. When I left this tank, there weren't any babies at all, and now I have plenty of babies. I try to catch them on camera and show you. So you can see there's a lot of algae on the front glass because for 3 weeks it hasn't been cleaned. So there's a lot of algae, and there's a lot of babies here on this glass as well, feeding with this algae. So there was one shrimp, which a simple crystal black shrimp. She is over there. I don't know if I can show you this shrimp. It's very difficult. Yeah, so she's hiding. Maybe I feed the shrimps and show you later. So this shrimp was buried, and she made a few babies here, and also a few other females been buried. So I have tons of babies in this tank. So this is the one small babies here. Let me just focus. Yeah, here you go. This is a very beautiful baby here, enjoying this tasty algae. Lots of copy pots here as well. You see that? Yes. So let's see at these two tanks, and then you can see this tank has a clean glass at the front, and this tank has a lot of algae, dust algae. And this is because, again, this filter didn't work. The sponge filter didn't work. So basically this on this shrimp rack I have a problem with 3 filters. So 3 filters didn't work. 3 sponge filters. So this sponge filter, and that sponge filter didn't work. And this happened simply because you see that pump here. So a simple pump. When I came, oh, you see that this came out here straight away. So it wasn't very secure, the fittings, and so both of them was on the floor like this, and the pump was noisy like that. So this connection is not very secure. So over the time, the tubing might just come off from that connection. So make sure when you leave your tanks, make sure this connection is secure. I don't know why it's happened, and it's happened before. So probably that pump is not good, it's cheap pump, and the connection here is not good. Maybe the tubing is not good. You know, maybe I need to change that tubing for something else, for more stronger ones or something. But that's what happened. Luckily I have more than one filter in the tank. This is what I always suggest you to do, because if you have only one filter, if it's something wrong with the filter and you're not around, you might lose your shrimps, because the shrimps need filtration, right? So if it's no filtration in your tank, you're gonna lose your shrimps. This sponge filter didn't work because the same problem. I have this tubing came out from that fitting, and it actually, like I show you, it's like that. Just when I came, it was like that, and this filter didn't work again. And because it's shaped as a cone, the tubing came out from this fitting within a month or so. Yeah, so you have to make sure you buy more quality fittings. So that's what happened. And also I realized one thing when I was in Thailand. I just remember that I didn't tell my friend what to do if he found a dead shrimp. And what's happened, he just called me once and said, "Oh, you know, I didn't know that shrimps are cannibals. They eat another shrimps." And I said, "Yeah, what's happened?" And he said, "I saw that shrimps eating another shrimp." I said, "Yeah, that shrimp probably dead. That's why they're eating it." So I told him where I have my shrimp net, and I said, next time you see a dead shrimp or shrimp eating another shrimp, so make sure you take it out, because it might be have some disease and die from infection, and another shrimp, if they eat it, and they can have this infection. So So yeah, he said, and he said yes, okay, no problem. And next time he saw that, he said he saw about like 7 or 8 dead shrimps in my tanks, and he said it's probably normal for 24 days. So in all my tanks, it's about 12 tanks I have. So he said like in each tank he saw about 1 dead shrimp during that time. So I think it's pretty not much normal. And I said it's normal, the shrimps are dying sometime, no matter what. So make sure if you ask somebody to look after your shrimps, make sure you tell him about dead shrimps and leave a net. And as you can see, I left him full of bucket of this water. And actually, when I did another video, I said this is definitely going to be enough because this water is for auto top off. So I have a pumps connected to my timer here, and when timer is on, about 2 hours a day, the pumping the water to auto top off system. Yeah. So I was thinking this bucket gonna be enough, but no, he said like after about 2 weeks the bucket was almost empty. So luckily I've got this container full of raw water, and I asked him to fill that bucket again. He filled it again, so I used around 70 liters of water for 24 days, right? So luckily I've got the spare water. Now I have no water, but this is what I'm doing now, is preparing the water for water change, because this is the first thing I want to do, is to do water change in all my tanks. And this is the topic for my other video. I'm gonna probably do it tomorrow, and I'm gonna do water change. And I have a very interesting device which I found in Thailand, which helps a lot to do the water change, and is work much better than these pumps you're gonna see in my next video. So this is the tank which I feature on my channel as well, and this is my new tank. It's currently cycling, and this is going to be another video when I'm going to be continue talking about this tank and show you this tank until I'm adding the shrimps. I need to do the water change again here. I didn't do any water change, and it's about 4 weeks old, so you can see there's a lot of algae growing here, so it's a healthy tank. And yeah, I'm going to do another video where I'm gonna do a water change, adding more bacterial powder, and then at the end of the video, when this tank is ready, I'm gonna add some shrimps here. This tank is good as well. I'm just feeding that shrimps, and they came to eat. I think my friend feed them yesterday, so they're not very hungry. They're quite alright. I don't see like that any difference in this tank, to be honest. It's probably were about the same amount of shrimps. Maybe some shrimps made some babies. I can see some new babies here. I didn't properly look at the tanks yet because I just arrived few hours ago, and the first thing I just grabbed the camera and making the update for you. Yeah, this next tank, also some algae on the front glass which need to be cleaned. When I do a water change, I'm going to clean it. There's a mixed tank of Cordynia and Neocordynia. Cannot see many Neocordynia shrimps, a lot of Cordynia, and I think when I left this tank there were some buried females, and they made some babies in this tank, and I'm sure there is I saw some new babies here, some small babies. As you can see here, they're very small baby. It's just a new baby. So they are hybrids or Michelins. And when they cross with each other, they have a chance to make some Taiwan bee shrimps, like pintas and King Kongs and pandas. So you can see there's a few, let me zoom for you. There's a few like panda shrimps here, or King Kong, so they came from the hybrids, which is good. And there's some Neocordynia shrimps as well here. So this tank, I'm planning to change this tank for a bigger tank, because this tank is basically too small, yeah, so it's only like, I don't know, 20 liters. So this is really too small for shrimps. It has a little sponge filter, little UGF filter, which is okay filtration, but you can see it's already quite a lot of shrimps for this tank, and the population is not growing as much as I want it to be grow. And this is what's happened if you keep your shrimps in a small tank. While your population is growing to a certain limit, it stops growing because the shrimps need more space, and the bigger tank is better. So There's another tank over here. I'm also feeding the shrimps here. They're not very hungry. They look like, you know, because now they have a lot of algae on the glass. It haven't been cleaned, and they're probably a lot more nitrate in the water than supposed to be, because it's 3 weeks without water change. You have more nitrate. Nitrate is good food for algae to grow, so the more algae growing now, and the shrimps are kind of happy with the food, and they're not very hungry, not eating. But I can see some more little babies here in this tank, which is great. I'm going to take a look, properly look at them later, but I can see some new babies, which is great. Yeah, I have another problem on this side. You can see the level of the water very high, so it's almost to the edge of the tank. So on a normal level it's like that, and I don't know, and I was thinking, why is that? The floating valve is closed and the level of the water is quite high. And I noticed when I switch on the water top-off system, I noticed that this rubber seal is leaking, so the water dripping through that rubber seal. So basically when the top-off system is on and the valve is closed, it's still dripping and topping off this tank. That's why the level of the water is quite high. It was quite risky that it's overflow and leaking on the floor. Luckily it wasn't that bad. And yeah, I need to take a look on this valve and just make sure I seal it so that they solve this problem. And you can see there's a lot of floating plants in this tank. I need to remove a lot of them, so they block the light for the shrimps, they block the light for the moss. And this is what happened. This is why it's not so much algae here on the glass, because that floating plants, basically the first thing, they suck in a lot of nitrate, which algae needed, and they're also blocking the light, which algae needed to grow. So the too many of floating plants is also not so great. Sorry, my cat didn't see me for a long time and he came to say hello. Hello, my cat, Grisha, his name. Yes, he's missing me. Good to see my cat as well. So I'm gonna show you that shrimps at the top. So this is my mixed / cold tank, and I'm super happy about the little babies I saw in this tank, because this tank is quite new, and when I left there were lots of married females but not many babies. Now we have lots of babies. So tomorrow I'm gonna clean this tank when I'm gonna do the water change, and I'm gonna do another video about the water change and show you how to do the water change. And I hope you enjoy this little update, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.